On her first day entering the palace, she gnawed on Pig's feet right in front of the empress, without any regard for her image. The other concubines all mocked her for being vulgar, not knowing that she was deliberately pretending to be foolish. After that, the woman took out a chest of gold, silver, and jewels to present to the noble consort. Mary saw this and ridiculed the woman for having no taste, then immediately brought out tonic medicine to give to the noble consort. The noble consort outwardly praised Mary for being considerate and sensible, but in reality, she had already developed the intention to kill her. Just as Mary was boasting about having pleased the noble consort, saying she would soon receive the emperor's favor, the noble consort's servants seized her. The noble consort feared that Mary's attentiveness would steal away the emperor's affection, so she falsely accused her of giving poisonous tonic and had her thrown into the prison. The woman knew she had just escaped a disaster. In her previous life, to avenge the annihilation of her family, she hid in the palace for years as a maid, but unfortunately was discovered by the noble consort during the assassination attempt. It turned out that before, the noble consort had fallen into misfortune, and the woman's family had kindly taken her in. Who would have thought that after entering the palace and gaining the emperor's favor, the noble consort did not want anyone to know about her past hardship, so she repaid kindness with revenge and killed the woman's entire family, leaving only the woman to escape by luck. The woman angrily rebuked the noble consort, but the noble consort only gave a scornful smile, then tortured her half to death and threw her into the snow. At the moment of her death, William, who was rumored to kill without blinking, actually used his cloak to shield her from the wind and snow and told her not to be a palace maid in her next life to be bullied again. The next second, when the woman opened her eyes again, she found herself reborn to the day she entered the palace as a maid. The woman swore that in this life she would make the noble consort pay blood for blood. At that moment, William happened to pass by. The woman remembered the advice she heard before dying and decided to use William to get rid of her maid status, because although William was a eunuch, he wielded immense power and was deeply trusted by the emperor, and there was nothing in the palace that William could not accomplish. That night, the woman risked her life and broke into William's residence, begging him to recommend her as a candidate concubine. Her fearless act sparked William's interest. He said that since the woman was of Maid origin, she was not worthy of becoming a candidate concubine. Unexpectedly, the woman boldly took off her clothes, saying her figure and looks were no worse than those candidates. William immediately turned and threw his coat at her. Seeing that William did not get angry, she quickly said that one of the candidate concubines had died of illness, and she could just take her place. William said she had no value worth helping. The woman threw herself into William's arms, saying she was willing to serve him. William instantly felt insulted and wanted to send her straight to hell. But unexpectedly, the woman said, "I'm just a powerless little palace maid. You can kill me anytime you want, so why not take a gamble that I can become empress?" Her words moved William, and she successfully got the identity she wanted. Soon it was time for the candidate concubines to meet the noble consort. Seeing her enemy again, the woman could not hide her hatred. The noble consort began exchanging pleasantries with the candidates, but the woman simply sat down and started gnawing on a pork knuckle. Mary immediately scolded her for not knowing etiquette. Hearing this, the woman said she had brought a gift for the noble consort and presented a box of gold and silver jewelry. Mary mocked her for being ignorant to give such tacky jewels to the noble consort. Then Mary brought out the tonic she had prepared, saying she heard the noble consort was in poor health and personally prepared these supplements for her. But Mary's thoughtfulness only aroused the noble consort's suspicion. Smiling, she accepted the gift, then left early, claiming she felt unwell. Back in her room, the noble consort said that if Mary was already this considerate toward her, she would surely gain the emperor's favor in the future, so she must not be allowed to live in the palace. Her maid instantly understood her meaning. At that moment, Mary was still showing off that the noble consort accepted her gift, saying she would soon win the emperor's favor, but the woman knew the noble consort already intended to kill her. Sure enough, the noble consort's servants called out to Mary. Mary thought they had come to give her the noble consort's reward and happily walked toward them. The next second, the servants accused Mary of trying to harm the noble consort and threw her into the death cell. The woman, by pretending to be foolish, managed to stay in the palace, but her beautiful face still aroused the noble consort's jealousy. The noble consort assigned her to the most remote quarters, and she didn't see the emperor once in half a month, until one One day, she met Susan in the garden. Her maid reminded her that Susan had a bad temper and hated it when people mocked her accent. The woman walked straight toward Susan, greeted her first, then deliberately pretended not to understand what Susan said. Susan angrily ordered her servants to splash her with water. Seeing the emperor approaching them, she further provoked Susan with her words. Susan ordered her servants to give the woman a harsh beating. When William arrived with the emperor, they saw the woman's pitiful state. The emperor was instantly captivated by her. Susan argued that the woman had first mocked her accent, but the emperor said the woman had just entered the palace, and Susan should not fuss over her. He then punished Susan by confining her to reflect for a month. Just as they were about to leave, William stopped them, saying that the reason Susan made a mistake was because her servants had failed to stop her in time. Hearing this, the emperor thought it made sense, and immediately ordered Susan's servants to be beaten to death. After that, the woman got the chance to attend to the emperor for the night.